You've probably played arm wrestling before. But what you might not know is that most of the time, your brain is actually holding back your true strength. It does this to protect you, to make sure you don't unintentionally injure yourself, and to keep your force under control. But what would happen if we could switch off that little part of the brain that regulates our power, and unleash 100% of it? Let's explore the science behind maximum strength. In arm wrestling, everything starts in the central nervous system. Each time you contract a muscle, your brain sends an electrical signal through your nerves down to that muscle. But the same system that activates you is also constantly applying the brakes. Think of it this way. If you pick up a glass of water, you automatically adjust your grip so you don't shatter it. The body has built-in structures that alert the brain whenever a contraction is too intense, whenever there's a risk of snapping a tendon, breaking a bone, or damaging a joint. And when that signal goes off, your body engages an automatic limiter. This process is called autogenic inhibition, and it's managed by sensors in your tendons, known as Golgi tendon organs. They measure the amount of tension, and if it's too much, they basically hit the off switch. That's why, even when you feel like you're giving everything you've got, in reality you're only using around 60 to 80% of your true capacity. That safeguard exists because crossing the line would drastically increase your chances of injury, almost to a certainty. But here's the catch. In extreme situations, that safety mechanism can fail. And when it does, your real power bursts out. This usually happens in life or death scenarios, when the body floods with adrenaline and noradrenaline. These chemicals prep every system to survive. Your pupils dilate, your heart races, your pain threshold skyrockets, and the usual muscle inhibition vanishes. That's when you hear stories of people lifting cars to save someone, breaking down doors or walls, or pushing their bodies beyond all normal limits. This is called hysterical strength. Rare, but well documented. Now, let's bring it back to arm wrestling. At first glance, it looks simple. You bend your elbow, rotate your forearm, and turn your shoulder. But biomechanically, it's a risky combination. When maximum force is applied without proper technique, the bone that suffers most is the humerus, the long bone between the shoulder and elbow. As it twists under pressure, if pushed too far, it can literally snap. The most common injury here is a spiral fracture of the humerus, so common that orthopedic surgeons have a nickname for it, the arm wrestler's fracture. But that's not the only danger. You can tear your biceps tendon from excessive contraction, dislocate your shoulder. If the force isn't distributed well, compress your radial nerve, which can leave your hand temporarily paralyzed, or rip muscle fibers apart from extreme tension, especially if your body isn't trained for it. All of this can happen because, for just a moment, your body released more power than it could safely handle. So why doesn't this happen all the time? The answer, again, lies in your nervous system. That built-in brake is almost always active. But under high stress, with stimulants in your system, or in an intense emotional state, the limiter can give way. And once it does, all that's left is raw force. And the consequences. I like to think of it this way. Your body is like a race car, with a monster engine. But it comes with a speed limiter. Not to slow you down, but to keep you from exploding. Sure, you can take it off. You can go faster, push harder, use every ounce of strength. But without brakes, you might just crash and burn.